Well, hello. I didn't see you there. Hi, my name is... Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is ELUCHU, you can call me Emily, and today is the highly anticipated release, mostly anticipated by me, of my 5-star Animal Crossing Island tour. Wow! Yay! I got my Switch 4 months ago. You can watch the unboxing in this corner. This corner? This corner? This corner by clicking the link right here. And I've basically used this thing to play Animal Crossing exclusively since I got it. I do own other games, but that is besides the point. Much like the many other people who got their Switches during quarantine, I have played Animal Crossing like a crazed maniac for the first 2 months that I got it. Then I hit kind of a wall and I stopped playing it, but then I only recently got the gumption to finish up my island so I can share it with you guys. I also have a habit of putting things off because I'm afraid I won't be able to complete the project in a way that I want to, so it took a while for me to actually get the motivation to finish things. Fellow perfectionists, can I get an amen? It also took so long because I never time skipped or anything like that, and let's just say that Tom Nook has a crisp IOU from yours truly still in his hands for like 1.5 million bells. Now, before I show you my island, I just want to put it out there that my Animal Crossing is basically a living Pinterest board. I spent so much time just scouring the internet for ideas and inspiration, and I had high expectations for my island, much like my parents did when they first sent me off to college. So if you are someone who regularly looks up Animal Crossing Island inspo, and you see elements of my island that look oddly familiar, there's your answer. With all of that said, let's get started.
Alrighty everybody, here we are. Welcome to Metzopolis, home to yours truly, resident mezzo-soprano, social recluse, and shell-grabbing trash. Now, as you may have guessed, I've spent an inordinate amount of time designing my island. When I first arrived, my island looked like this, and now, 300 plus hours later, it looks like this. Let this be an ever-present reminder of the days that I slept, ate, and breathed to please an office-working golden retriever and the raccoon version of Mr. Krabs. So first things first, we enter my island at, surprise, surprise, the entrance! Wow! If we head to our right, we will come across the first of many cafes on my island. If you take a shot of water each time we come across one, you will be well on your way to fulfilling your dreams of becoming a mermaid. Behind it is the Resident Services building, and behind that is a mini plaza / park area and restaurant. I really like how this area turned out, it's kind of cute. I did get some ideas from Pinterest on this one. I almost put another cafe here, but I thought better of it. Haha JK, if you go to the left you will find my Able sisters and, of course, a mini cafe. Sonic's long-lost sisters gotta get their bean juice fixed before crafting their closet masterpieces. Duh. Here, I decided to provide them with an outdoor workshop area, as well as a laundry area to both clean, dry, and display their newest pieces. Now, before we leave this area, if you climb this little mountain, there's a secret stargazing picnic area, complete with a ukulele, romantic lighting, and telescope. I love how cozy and intimate this spot is, and I love to come here at nighttime and look at the pretty stars. Y'all, the nighttime sky in Animal Crossing is honestly so legit. When I first got this game, you could bet your pretty little butts that I spent an inordinate amount of time just staring up at the stars, projecting myself into the game, and wishing I wasn't scared to actually go outside. Climbing back down, if we continue going left, we come across the biggest park on my island, complete with a picnic spot and recreation / crafting area. It's located close to the beach, so you can enjoy making sand castles and sunbathing as well. I've had fun terraforming this area and giving it a more organic vibe, because mountains equal organic. There are lots of flowers, waterfalls, and of course, weeds. Continuing in our eastward trend, we cross a bridge to get to the residential district of my island. I am so happy with how this area turned out. I like the cozy, winding pathways, and I had so much fun customizing the yards for each of my villagers. Kind of has this like a cottagecore vibe to it. So let's explore the houses of my villagers. First up is Marshall, beloved tsundere squirrel and my newest villager. From the moment I started the game, I wanted Marshall on my island, and can you blame me? Look at that face. He's so cute, so cool. You could say I'm nuts about him. And I found him with only 7 Nook Miles tickets, so it's basically destiny. His next door neighbor is everybody's favorite anime bear, Judy. She was also a really lucky find early on in my game, and I've had so much fun gathering all of the pink things and sticking them outside of her house. I would like to point out the 2 gossiping Mrs. Flamingos and the ostracized Mr. Flamingo, because you know that even Judy's lawn decorations be spilling the tea. Heading north, we have Fang, another relatively recent addition to my island. I have a soft spot for grumpy villager types, but I gotta be honest, I was hoping that his house would be more rustic than it is. Not my favorite property to decorate, but I'm not mad. He replaced Pietro, and you can see the remnants of his time on Metsopolis with the cotton candy machine just sitting outside of Fang's front door. To be honest, this is a tangent. I was not a fan of Pietro in the beginning, but occasionally he would drop these little nuggets of hilarity that made him oddly endearing. Next, we've got my only peppy villager, Bianca. Not a big fan of this particular villager type, but I did have fun decorating her yard with fun, bright colored pieces. I got a kick out of putting a scratching post by her house because, you know, she's a cat. You may notice that there's the beginnings of a cafe that was never quite fully realized right outside of her yard, but fear not, we will get there, I promise. I can feel you're getting thirsty. Behind Bianca's house, I have a little sitting area that serves as a transitional spot that leads to the gardens and orchard, but we'll come back around to that soon enough. Right next door is one of my favorites, Gail's house. Her plot is pretty small compared to the others, but something about the little waterfall and the pine trees really gives her home a cozy vibe. Gail is also super sweet and cute, so it suits her well. If we head up this ramp, you'll see this nice little white walkway, and if you turn to your right, we'll come to Sherb's house. He was my first lucky find, and when I was initially designing my island, I had to give him prime real estate because I mean, look at him. I love him so much. I decided to fill his yard with white flowers for that sweet aesthetic, along with some toys because he's a pretty childlike character. If we continue to head up, we'll find Teddy, an OG villager, and easily the best jock villager. You can fight me on this. I made him a small outdoor gym to help him with his gains. Also, Teddy is funny because he's probably my most social villager, and I'm always finding him hanging out in other villagers' houses, and he rarely seems to spend time around his own home. I made this gym for you, Teddy. Don't be like me and use your elliptical as a glorified clothing rack. Slightly hidden, I have another secret star-gazing area just above Sherb's house. Why? Because empty space bothers me. Continuing northward, we have easily the 2 coolest villagers on my island, Goth Queen Muffy and fashion icon Zelle. I didn't plan to have them live next door, but it worked out because their vibes are just vibing. I gave Zelle a cute little bachelor pad of an outdoor kitchen, and I really leaned into the goth theme with Muffy with a couple tombstones, creepy dolls, and dark colored flowers. Last but not least, we have Buzz, my second grumpy villager. I'm going to be completely honest, when I came across Buzz, I was fully intending to skip over him, but something about his permanently angry eyes just spoke to me in that moment. I feel that, you know? He gets it. After recruiting him, I decided to look up what his house looked like, and I loved the isolated cabin look, so I made sure to stick him in the most remote area when I was initially planning my island. I made sure to give his house a complete I'm roughing it in the woods type of design to match his adorably permanent grumpy brows that scream I'm a lonely hermit. Now, before we continue on this path leading west, I just want to point out that Zelle's house overlooks a secret cafe on the far edge of my island. I gotta keep you guys hydrated. It's pretty isolated, and it's one of the few areas where I figured out what to do with the beaches on my island. It's got a seaside theme to it for obvious reasons, and I love the white clean look. Back to where we left off in front of Buzz's house. If we continue heading west, you'll find my campsite. I definitely do not take credit for designing this area. I found it on Pinterest ages ago, and I just had to try and incorporate it onto my island. I'm all about using terraforming and trees to create cozy vibes all over my island, and maybe it's because I find a weird comfort in being stuck between a rock and a hard place. Quite literally. If you see this little hidden pathway and follow it, it leads to my secret beach. I kept it pretty simple, and since I don't usually spend much time here, I wasn't too pressed on making it complex. You can see that Red is currently visiting right now. Sketchy dude. Don't talk to strangers, kids. Keep following the ramps, and you'll find my secret garden, aka the place where I dump all of my unwanted flowers. Now, I always get weird responses when I show that my island has a graveyard, but I just needed something to fill the space, I promise. It's not like I killed a bunch of my villagers and stuck them here. I liked that it's isolated, and again, I just don't like empty space. This is another great Pinterest find. Anyway, we are going to make an abrupt change here and return to the entrance of my island. Instead of heading right, we'll head to the left, and you'll directly see ahead of you another park. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory there. Next, I have a little entrance to the beach where I have a seaside picnic area, a bamboo meditation spot, and a little seating area for ocean photos. Ignore the massive pumpkin carriage. I got it in the Halloween event, and I just wanted to begin filling in that dreaded empty space like I try to fill in the void in my heart. If you follow this pathway northward, you'll come to the entrance of the farmer's market and Nook's Cranny. You'll see the little fruit stand, honey stand, flower stand, and surfing stand. There's also an eating area that I have been told is arguably another cafe. I made a little hill for my lighthouse to sit atop of and created another private seating area that overlooks the sea. Continuing north, we come across a small plaza complete with a small classical music stage. If we go up to the beach, it leads to the concert area complete with a DJ table, guitars, and glowing palm trees for that party vibe. To be completely honest, I really had a hard time with decorating my beaches, so I'm happy with how this area came out. Surprise, surprise, I almost put another cafe here, but I figured since this wasn't a Starbucks themed island, I would refrain. Am I projecting how much I'm missing going to coffee shops on my island? Absolutely. Am I mad about it? If we climb these stairs, it leads to the museum. It leads to the museum. I thought it would be fun to put some small fossils and some other museum-y things on display in front. And to the left, there's a small cafe and a secret area that overlooks the concert on the beach. Climbing back down to the plaza, if we head east, there's a land bridge with an eating area, and just for kicks and giggles, we'll call this Cafe 6. I love how everything is surrounded by water, and the waterfalls in the background are really soothing to me. I also think this is a really good way to transition into one of my favorite parts of my island, the orchard and gardens. You'll see here that I've installed a plant nursery where I planted my pumpkins. I used to plant flowers instead for hybridization here, but alas, pumpkin season was upon us. This leads to the orchard where I planted 3 of every fruit tree. You can see that I've planted my flowers by color, and I love how neat and organized it looks. I'm only missing the purple violets, but I have every other color flower thanks to the help of a friend who actually bred most of the difficult colored flowers, so shout out to her. Here's another nursery, and you can see the 2 bridges that lead into the first park and also the residential area. If you head north, you'll find my rock garden. Yeah, I know, it's random, but I have a transmutation circle from Full Metal Alchemist on here because I saw it on a Pinterest and I had to have it. Because weeb. Continuing up these stairs, if you jump over this river, you'll find yourself at the campsite, but if you turn to the left, you'll find my house! I went with black, white, and green as the main colors here, and it was one of the last areas that I completed on my island. I think it turned out pretty nice. To the immediate left, it leads us to the outdoor patio with a seating area and library bar, because y'all know I love to drink while reading. If you continue west and across this bridge, it takes us right back to the museum. Now finally, let's take a look at the inside of my house. I gotta be honest, much to the chagrin of the Happy Home Academy, I didn't finish the inside of my house until literally 3 days ago. So, the first room is a library/study. You'll notice that I've blocked off one of the rooms to my house with the pipe organ, and my reasoning is twofold. I didn't know what to do with that room, and I was lazy. So if we go to the left, we have an aquarium-themed bedroom. Why fishes, you may ask? And the answer is because I had a whole lot of blue furniture that I didn't know what to do with, so I put it in here. Even so, I like how it turned out. I like to turn off the lights and let the lamp lights and fish tanks brighten the room so it feels like I'm actually in an aquarium. Now to the right, we have the bathroom. Not much to say here, other than it's white. Yep. I could kill for a bathroom that looks like this. Now, heading up to the attic, this is probably the most chaotic room in my house. I used another outdoor wallpaper to try and make it look like this room was on the roof of my house somehow. I don't know how effective it was. I put laundry here because why not, as well as some not actually functional sitting areas. I'm not super proud of this spot, so it's likely to change in the near future. And finally, we have the basement. And surprise! It's our last cafe, and you thought you were safe. I had a hard time putting together anything for the basement, mostly because whatever I did down here made things feel dark and weirdly claustrophobic, but by adding the wallpaper with lots of windows, I feel like I've made the illusion that we're still above ground, not in the basement. Again, if I had a kitchen like this, I would be a very, very happy bean. And that is Metsopolis.
And that, my friends, is the end of my Animal Crossing Island tour. Congrats, you made it to the end of the video. I know this one was kind of lengthy. As you saw, things on my island kind of got a little bit repetitive because I'm actually not that creative. Hence the number of parks, picnic areas, and literal 7 cafes on my island. And congratulations, if you took a shot of water for every cafe on my island, you are now a mermaid. Is the truth? I don't make the rules. And again, thanks for stopping by. How do you think I did? Leave a comment below, especially if you are now a mermaid, because that's freaking amazing. If you like this video, don't forget to do the thing. And if you're up for seeing more content from me, feel free to subscribe. I am always up for making new friends. And this is why I don't have any friends. It's because you do this, Emily. Alrighty. I will see you in the next video. And until then, have a lovely day, wear your mask, and stay safe out there. Alrighty? Okay. Bye!